Here's Rob Dibble.
All right, we're back. We're back. The 4th of July weekend is over. People, get back to work. So a lot of people are like, man, what the hell day is it? Oh, whew, it's Wednesday. Saturday will be here in a couple of days. All right, Rob Dibble Show, Ben Darnell at your beck and call here until the beginning of the Yankees-O's pregame. It's about 6:25, and that'll be a great series as the Yankees are trying to catch the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles, one of the best young teams in Major League Baseball, sending a few cats to the All-Star game. They should. And so we'll get into all of that stuff and bring on Don Memori to talk about the Mets and the Yankees and the Red Sox, of course, because none of them are really good. All of them are nowhere near first place. And just to give you how awful the Mets are 18 out of first place. That's all you need to know. They're in last place in their division. The Marlins are a way better team than we thought they would be. Phillies are playing about average, mediocre baseball, even though they have a huge payroll as well. But the Mets suck. They've won 3 in a row. And to give you how bad winning 3 in a row is, that gets them to 39 and 46. And you're still 7 under 500. You're 18 out of first place. And when I turned on ESPN.com today and put on the MLB portion of it, the headline read, June 30th, 10 games out. I'm like, a first place? And then it said July 5th, 6.5 games out. And I was like, the math doesn't correlate because I just saw before yesterday's Braves loss, they were 30 over 500. And Acuna Jr. is doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and we'll tell you about that in a second. I was like, no way. Click on the standings. They're 6.5 games out of 4th place. 4th. The Mets stink. They stink so bad that they're gaslight you into thinking they're good in any way, shape, or form, even with a 3-game winning streak. They're 18 games out of first place. They're not a baseball team. And really, Steve Cohen, I don't blame this guy. I don't blame Buck Showalter. I blame what we've done to these guys' brains over the last 10 years. Telling them that mediocrity is okay. It's okay. You deserve a safe place. Who's your great Cub that's now playing for the Phillies? Left fielder. Got about 18, 19 home runs. Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber's hitting 180. One stinking 80.
That's what he does, too.
And so, but to have people go on TV, and I watch MLB, I watch ESPN, I watch all these different programs, Fox before their game, and it's like, oh, and he's got all these home runs. Home runs don't win you ball games. Driving in runs from second base, runners in scoring position, that's what wins you ball games. Being able to bunt guys over in extra innings because you have a ghost runner wins you ball games. And you know who does that stuff? The Arizona Diamondbacks do that kind of stuff. The Atlanta Braves do that kind of stuff. Even the Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers, as bad as the Reds are, they're in first place. You know why? Because they have to play that brand of baseball. Speed ball. They have to move guys from first to second, second to third to get one run in. If they have to hit a sacrifice fly, that's old school baseball for you old farts, but it's really just baseball. That's just winning baseball games. And so anybody who tells you that mediocrity is okay, it's not. It's not. And when you have a $350 million payroll, we just broke down Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, with his Nationals money, is making $58 million this year.
Wow.
And most media outlets would be screaming if that was LeBron or Kyrie or Aaron Rodgers. You know every day how much that guy made. We don't hear anything about Max Scherzer being overpaid and now declining in talent. I just watched him pitch because I wanted to see him yesterday. Third trip through, he's throwing batting practice to the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that nobody thought would be in first place. So you got to stop with the 200 batting average is okay, and this below 300 on base percentage is okay. The Mets are not okay. Lindor is not okay. Alonso is not okay. Nimmo and your old outfield is not okay. So, yeah, your 3-game winning streak gets you to 6.5 out of 4th place. That's embarrassing going into the All-Star break after 86 games.
Well, I know that he's got all the money in the world, but his patience will break. I mean, he's not win baseball games as much as having the best talent. And this is a broken record, man. We've been saying this the whole time. I really go back to the time when all the scouts got fired. Remember that day?
Yeah.
And it was like, what are we doing here? How are you going to know who's better than the other when you have
we've got numbers crunchers?
You have
out
this
of the Ivy
equation
League.
that you can plug into anybody, and it doesn't matter who it is, and the equation's never wrong. The equation's never been right to me. And when you just see, like, Scherzer $58 million, that's crazy for a starting pitcher that
I don't
only
want to pick
pitches
on them,
40
though,
times.
but look at the Cardinals.
Yeah,
This is flip-flop. So the
Right.
Reds have the lowest payroll in that division. Who has the highest payroll? The Cardinals. Yep. So the Cardinals are awful. The Cubs have cut back. They're actually not awful. They're 6 games under 500. That's better than the Mets record. But the Cardinals are another team that are going with analytics. They fired a really good manager that had them in first place for years, Schilt. And they said, you know what? This guy picked on the analytics. You're fired.
Yeah.
Just like the scouts, just like anybody who goes after the Ivy Leaguers and the Theo Epsteins, you're going to get fired.
Well, I think the examples, too, are out there for people to see, like the New York Yankees. For me, when they had to bring in all those guys from Scranton-Wilkes-Barre and started stealing bases and starting hitting in runs and starting just scratching out runs and winning ball games. And it was like, wow.
What did they do? They got rid of most of them because you know why? You're making us look bad.
And we're not paying you as much as we're paying these other jokers we already gave a contract to, so we got to get some kind of return on our investment. Like your Cincinnati Reds, my Cubs, the times that they play good baseball, it's like they're playing with guys that don't know any better other than to win the game. They don't know anything about their contract.
Well, they haven't been brainwashed. The analytics department hasn't spent 2, 3, 4 years of beating the mediocrity horse to death to – Ben, it's okay to hit 210 as long as you drive, have 25 home runs by the end of the year and 80 RBI. It doesn't. They're not talking about runners in scoring position. They're not talking about moving guys in and having productive at bat. These are all things that aren't statistical. Productive at bats are not a statistical thing.
Right.
And so even at the AAU level, I've got kids at the lower part of my lineup understand they want to win. And they want to win bad. They will sacrifice their at bat to bunt someone from second to third with no out. I don't even have to tell them now to do that. And I hope that as they go on and get better, that they never lose that chip of, hey, I can be unselfish right here and lay down a bunt. And I'm not trying to get old school baseball. I'm just trying to get you to win games. My job is to put you in a position to succeed, not in a position to worry about what the analytics people think of your statistics. I want to win ball games because that's not just my job. I want you to have a good experience as well.
Well, they are winning, Dibs. I mean, I know it's not in the way that you want to see, but the Mets are winning. They've won 3 in a row. Or even the Red Sox, 3 out of the last 4. Texas last night. The Yankees, they beat the Orioles in games they must win in their division. Despite their blemishes and all of their flaws, at least they are getting those W's.
They just had one of their better relievers suspended for the rest of the year for domestic battery.
Breaking news, by the way. Breaking news, New York
But
Yankees.
it's not top of the list. It's not even top of the charts at ESPN.com. It's way down, like 7th story, and it should be the first thing that you see. And on everybody's headline today, but they're burying it.
Jimmy Cordero, 31 years old. This is a no contest for the New York Yankees.
No, he agreed to it, so we know it's true. I mean, he's a piece of crap. I don't think he should ever play in the big leagues again. That's my personal opinion.
We'll see what happens, what the Yankees do, but it looks like he's going to be suspended for the rest of the season. And, this isn't anything new to this pitching staff. They've had this domestic violence in their midst, not just in a couple of years ago, decades ago.
But if somebody else got suspended for 76 games without pay, don't you think that would be a huge story today?
Should be, yeah.
Should be. Because we got the Allstar game going up. So Rob Manfred's probably like, let's just kind of like sneak this underneath the 4th of July news here. It'll be midweek. Nobody's going to pick up on it. And we'll continue to talk about, the Yankees have won 7 out of 10. Mets have won 3 in a row. And the Red Sox, blah, blah, blah. The Red Sox are 500. They're 43 and 43, 13 out. And that's not good at the All-Star game at the 86-game point because now we're past the halfway point.
Yeah.
But my point is, who cares about the All-Star game? There's 72 guys in the All-Star game. I wanted to get to this. So you want to talk about mediocrity. Okay, you got 36 on a side. When I play is 25.
Yeah.
And I was blessed to be on 2 teams.
Yeah.
And I've already brought this up. The 2 years I played, 30 Hall of Famers played in those 2 years that I was able to play with. So don't tell me that these games are special because they're not. They're not. Mediocre guys are going to the All-Star game. It's littered with, 15 guys that shouldn't be there on each team, and that's just garbage to me. But that's where we are as a sport. We're at a crossroad here where the nerds have won, and we can't turn back.
I know.
We can't turn back time. So, the more I look around, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And so you could have a $300 million payroll, and yet the media is not going to hammer you for that. They're not even hammering the players for being awful.
The one thing I hate is these injuries. Again, you're not going to have Shohei Ohtani pitch at all, and that's the right call. Totally the right call. Mike Trout now just going down.
He's not the only one. McClanahan's not pitching in the All-Star game, which, again,
right.
McClanahan's an All-Star.
Yes. Should be starting.
Eovaldi's an All-Star. Cole's an All-Star. These are the guys that should be going to the All-Star game and should be at least throwing an inning.
Right.
But no, they're not going to go. So we're going to go down 3 or 4 or 5 guys lower than that.
Yes.
And then now we're going to litter the game with, this is a first-timer.
Futures.
You're going to have 30 first-timers
futures.
probably. I'm just saying. I haven't looked at the numbers today. You're going to have 30-plus first-time players at the All-Star game.
Top of my head, I think we got 3 starting. Maybe more than that. But, yeah, it's going to be somewhat of a futures that you're going to see here in the next couple of days.
I've read about the draft. July 9th is the draft from the All-Star game. Okay, so we're trying to make it instead of just it was a special day. It's special for the NBA, it's special for the NFL.
I know.
MLB.
Stretch it out,
It's not, because it's not. It's boring. But let me get to this headline. I read this headline from this guy from MLB.com that the kid from LSU, Skeens.
Yeah, Skeens.
Is worth $600 million right now. You should pay him right now.
This is
guy hadn't thrown a freaking pro pitch yet or hit a pro ball.
Might as well put Wembayama in the conversation.
It's unbelievable that these are the nerds that write this crap,
yes.
And people gobble it up. Oh my God, this guy, I gotta have him. So there's some sucker owner out there that's gonna say, I gotta have this guy because this guy told me to take $600 million. Now, Shohei, listen, I could see 500, even 600 million because endorsement money from Asia, all that kind of
stuff. You can see it because you've seen it.
That's right.
You've seen it for years.
But is anybody worth that? No, because of why? The next point we're going to make, Trout gets injured swinging a bat.
Yeah.
It was a non-contact injury like we see ACLs, MCLs in the NFL. It's horrible, but this guy broke his hamate bone. He goes on the 10-day IL. I'm saying he's out a month at least.
Gosh.
At least a month, unless he needs surgery. Then I think he's probably out the rest of the year.
And then that means the Angels are out of the playoffs, which means Shohei's probably out of Los Angeles or Anaheim or wherever you're going to put him.
Well, I mean, listen, I think they've lost 7 out of 8. They've won 3 out of the last 10. The Angels are not a great team. 2 games over 500. The Rangers are a really good offensive team. The Astros are another really good team with 10 games over 500. Yeah. And so, I mean, when you look at what we're looking at, and this is the one thing that bothers me the most. Half of the teams already in the major leagues are out of the postseason.
That's disgusting. How?
Just because they're not good. A's are not good.
No.
Mariners are a 500 team. Mariners are hosting the All-Star game. They're supposed to have all these great All-Star young players. No, Padres. How good are the Padres this year?
Right. That's the perfect
hot
example.
trash, hot garbage. Right. And the thing I read over the 4th of July weekend, Machado is pissed that Tatis Jr. is not an All-Star.
Yeah.
This guy's a cheater. He was suspended for a year.
Yeah, but Machado rides for his boys.
I love Machado for that. But there enough people are like clamoring, like, maybe he's right. Maybe Tatis Jr. is an all-star, even though he's a cheater. That's probably one of the reasons that the Padres are so awful. Is that there's half of the guys in that clubhouse don't have the guts to say it. They don't want him. They don't want that guy around them because they're trying to build a legacy. They're trying to have people that think you have an honest career. But this guy taints everybody on that team.
You sound like somebody talking about the NBA, too. It's you non-contact sports guys. See, there's no, immediate repercussions for running your mouth like there is in football and hockey. In baseball, basketball, you can hype yourself up as much as you possibly want to and get some big contracts because you can fool enough people, and then Everybody's like, man, that guy was good that one time, remember?
Yeah.
I don't know why we're paying him $60 million now, but he was good that one time.
You and I both talked about this. He played 146 games. Tatis Jr. was given $340 million contract.
Face of baseball.
Yeah, and you give people that kind of money. Tim Legler was on here 5 years ago, said the same thing. You don't know what happens to a man or a woman, any human, given that amount of money and security, what will happen to their ego. And I really believe you're given that amount of money. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to use steroids. You don't have to do anything. You're guaranteed $340 plus the cover of MLB The Show and everything else that comes with it. Yet that's not enough.
Just be available.
Yeah.
Be available.
So, anyway.
So how was fourth?
Fourth was awesome. Fourth was awesome because we have guys dedicated to the sport that even though it is raining cats and dogs, Joey Chestnut got the troops together and said, we're not getting rained out.
Right.
These people, if you saw the people huddled underneath like the metal umbrellas.
God bless you. God bless you,
like,
people.
You know what? We're gobbling some food, people. The men, the women. I think the woman won with 39 dogs that she swallowed.
Sudi?
Yeah, she won like her seventh title. But he's like, we're doing it. And he's soaking wet. He gets out there and he eats 62 hot dogs. Now, did I call that? Did I say 62? Was that my number?
I got to get the paperwork out, see who we had.
I think you're right.
I think I said 62. You said 61.
Yes.
And I think you went over.
I went 73. I went Barry Bonds.
The first tweet I saw was, he's slowing down. And I'm watching him at 60. He's like, I love his last like 5 dogs. How he throws, but he still shoves them in there anyway.
I just love how he is the king of the sport. Like, he is more
16
important.
titles.
More important than anyone putting it on. More important than Nathan himself. Like, when that guy came out there and basically rallied everyone together, fans included, like, we're eating dogs, rain or shine.
Oh, man.
Like, that guy, honestly, sports legend.
Kurt, help me out here because this guy tells a great story. Who is the British actor that got in trouble for picking up a hooker?
Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant. Thank you. Love you. So Hugh Grant tells a Nathan story. He's with Sandra Bullock. He's doing a movie.
Nathan Hot Dogs.
And she's like, you got to have a Nathan hot dog. You're near Coney Island.
Right.
He's like, I've never had a Nathan's hot dog. So he has some Nathan's hot dog. He ends up eating 2, then 4, then 6, and he gets sick. And he's late for his next call, which is, in the afternoon. And so he goes in there to his makeup artist who's from the Coney Island area. And she's like, oh, yeah, so you had a problem with your digestive area after eating all those hot dogs? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's the drawback. The hot dogs are great, but what happens 30 minutes later is going to kill you.
So that was 6 for Hugh Grant.
6 for Hugh Grant.
What does 62 feel like?
How many days on the can is that? They broke it down.
I might have liftoff.
It's like 40. It's like 4,800 times your allotted calories for the day.
Not
but
good.
think about the sodium and the trans fat and all the other stuff that's in there. It's surprised this guy doesn't drop dead from an overdose.
It's surprising how great a shape he is.
Oh,
and all of them. All of them.
They're well
He
trained.
must not be human.
Maybe
He's
not.
superhuman.
He's got a superhuman stomach.
He's kind of a hot dog.
He is a hot dog.
Yeah,
He is what he eats.
he is. Dom Amore, as I'm done ranting, because we had the 2 days off. I didn't get to talk, so I had to get it out. I apologize. Anyway, I didn't even get into the fireworks and all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah, we
How
got
bad
plenty
it
of
was here
time for
in
that.
the state. Oh, my God. It was so humid. You couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Couldn't see him.
It was foggy last night.
Dom Amore from the Hartford Courant. We'll ask his opinion. What he thinks of the Mets and the Yankees and the Red Sox and what baseball is going to do here with the 72 All-Stars at the Summer Classic up in Seattle. We'll be right back with Dom Amore on your afternoon drive with Rob and Ben and Kurt and John and everybody. We'll be right back.